What's up, everybody? This is Chris H here from the Blockchain of Fame. This is episode 4 of the Claim Your Fame YouTube series with the amazing project Beluga Bay and their founder, Beluga. Hello, Beluga. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm great. How are you doing? Thanks for
I
having us.
I am doing so excellent and so excited to share all the wonderful things about your project. So I think first thing we should do is share the screen and then let's get started. So I have your roadmap pulled up here and you can see the screen, correct?
It's come there. There you go.
There it is. All right, awesome. So first of all, tell us about just the quick project overview, your simple 90-second shill or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So I started Beluga Bay earlier in 2021 as a project. It was kind of the way I cut my teeth in the NFT world, specifically Polygon. I had been on a lot of Ethereum projects, and I really wasn't jiving with the way Ethereum communities were working. So
Mhm.
the everything was in this kind of strange. Uh, the communities were all about when is the floor going to rise,
Mhm.
and I wanted to create something that people could really get behind and enjoy. So the community that I built for Beluga Bay just seemed a little bit different, as far as I wasn't doing the standard minting. I would create a contract, and then I would publish that contract and then set a certain price for each whale that was consistent. And it gave the community this opportunity to uh, pick a whale that kind of met their personality, rather than spending a lot of money and not getting the whale that like matched you. So it was a kind of like a risky choice to make in season 1 of Beluga Bay. So that really kind of let me cut my teeth on contract creation, generative art, and building something that I really could put my heart and soul in. I am a toy designer by nature. Like that's my side job. I design plush and vinyl toys for, I would say half of my income is that. So when NFTs came along, building a toy related NFT was kind of like the thing that I wanted to do. And then Beluga Bay kind of grew out of that. So um, it all started as me wanting to build an indie game that was Web3 um, relate Web3 based. And so we're about halfway there now. So by the end of summer, we should have at least the ability for you to stake your belugas and earn some nautical coin. I haven't determined whether that's going to be seaweed coin or mackerel coin, or it's definitely going to be some sort of nautical beluga themed coin, and use that in the play to earn game. So yeah, it's been great. It's been a really amazing journey through the Founders Edition, which is kind of like the people that came in and helped me get established. And then season 1 was really the introduction to what would be the generative process. And then my latest collection, Doodles, was a hat tip to Burnt Toast Creative, who did the amazing Doodles project on Ethereum and has had amazing success. So I kind of wanted to try my hand at doing a derivative, and I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just said so much there. That's really a lot to unpack in just one interview. I could probably interview you over 6 parts or whatever, but we're going to stick to this one interview. First of all, I like how you took a risk on the Polygon network because, in case people don't know about the Polygon network, it's usually so much more cost efficient for people, especially first time NFT collectors, to kind of go on, see something that they really can get behind and not get killed at the gas station, essentially, even though that's not really the correct,
Yeah.
analogy or whatever. But, like it really has a lot of benefits. And I know myself, I put some ETH and I converted it over to wrapped Ether. And then I went, kind of on a shopping spree. And one of your project was one of the ones that really caught my eye because the art is so adorable. And I really appreciate how much work and selflessness you put into the Polygon community. I know, we could touch base on all of the things, but one of the things that really struck me was how dedicated you are to your community through hosting daily Twitter spaces and giving other projects the opportunity to shine in this ecosystem that you are a big part of. So I just wanted to shout you out for that. And then if we look at your 6 pillars here, this is your white paper that we're going to be reviewing briefly and going more into your collection and your future plans. You have a lot of C's here, which I appreciate. You have community, collaboration, creating, coaching, communication, and cohabitation. So how did you come up with these pillars?
Well, they kind of came up on their own, and the creation obviously is building the artwork, and coaching is what I do every day in the spaces, trying to teach emerging artists how to succeed and market and things like that. Communication is hosting the spaces every single day for 100 days. And collaboration, we've seen over 1,000 collaborations in the space. So if you can imagine what that's going to be like in 6 months, and then all of it is under the blanket of community, right? So the biggest liquidity that I have is the people really do kind of corral around what I've built, and cohabitation is at any given time in any of these pillars and any of the spaces that I enter that are even not my own, pushing diversity and centering diversity and making people feel safe in the space is something that is paramount to my ecosystem. So I came from Ethereum projects where I, as a pretty secure person in my personality, sometimes didn't feel safe, or didn't feel not. I did not feel like I belonged there. So I can only imagine someone that was coming from a place of diversity, how they would feel. So that, as I built this new ecosystem with my friends and co-hosts and everything else, pushing that cohabitation diversity aspect was like paramount to everything I do. And you'll hear me talk about it every single space as I join, even if the people are acting up. I will get on stage and kind of go to bat for the underdog. So
and that's apparent, and that's really just such a great core principle to hang your hat on and be behind, because this is like the new frontier, and we really need people like you and your community to step up and offer people an opportunity to shine, and also offer a place where that is safe. So these are really beautiful. I really just appreciate them, and I know we got a lot to talk about, but I wanted you to just brush briefly upon that. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no
All right.
problem.
So season 1, I think you can talk basically more or less while I show some season 1 art. Just go and tell us all about season 1, kind of, why the beluga as your mascot, some of the traits that you really love that are special to you, anything about season 1 that you feel is really important for potential, collectors to know about.
Well, I think that season 1 had a lot of amazing art. I did all the sketching and coloring, and then I had an amazing 20-year veteran artist actually do the line work.
Very
And
nice.
so I'm the pretty much the art director slash colorist, and then they do the I've worked with her in my toy company for 10 years, I think. So some of my favorite traits were the skulls,
Yeah.
because they had, I mean, my main avatar is named Sushi the whale, and that I always said, if you'll know it's not me if I ever change my PFP, because and the thing that I really enjoy about this is how colorful it is,
Yeah.
and it has textural elements. So if you see some of the backgrounds, they have
Hmm.
textures, and I really kind of played. I played when I made it. I just would try things, and so I have a little bit of hat tips to what was going on when I created. Cool Cats
Yeah, I
was
see
very
it.
hot, so
Yep.
I made the Cool Cats hat.
Yeah.
And I never got any grief from that. The pudgy penguins were big when I
Yeah.
was working on this. Of course, I had to make an ape hat,
Yep.
and so the one thing that I wish I had done more of is really pumped the rarity on
Hmm.
season one. I wish that I had done some kind of things that I ended up doing in Doodlelugas.
Hmm.
But I really, when I released season one, I was so excited with how well I think the art came out,
Yeah.
that I didn't really I didn't put a lot of thoughts into the rarities, and I know now better that
Yeah.
people are rarity hunters.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about the season one that didn't quite happen in Doodlelugas is that you have these kind of strange situations where you have a like the one that you're looking at now has a pink beard,
Hmm.
and a schoolgirl outfit on,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it kind of does have that built-in diversity hit
Yeah.
that I was going for.
Yeah.
I love how season one came out,
Yeah.
and I think that it is very bright now
Yeah.
that I look at it.
Yeah.
Um, it's the only I had a friend uh, send me a message and said, "My God, did you use every color in your Crayola box?"
You had to go on like the, the
Mhm.
like, oh, let me move it a little bit over and get this slightly different shade. It really is eye-catching. And one thing that I like pointing out, and I'll be honest with you, I did when I picked up mine, way back when we did our collab, was I was like trying to rare hunt, and I picked up a nice one that I thought was really great. But the floor is still so reasonable for all the value that you're bringing, and everybody's very hot on utility, utility, utility. And I know that any of the season one owners got a Doodalooga. I got one myself. But when you look at this, like the floor is a little above, 100th of an ETH, which is, probably about 30, 35 bucks now, with pretty much zero gas. Like you go to it, you wrap your ether or you use your matic and you scoop it up, and you don't feel the pain of, oh gosh, I had paid $100 in
Mhm.
gas. And so that makes it more fun to really go in, and like you said, your vision is coming to life, where you can cherry pick the Beluga Bay whale that really fits your personality. And I think that is such a really nice thing to do.
Absolutely. I always envisioned it being a collection that somebody could get their friends into pretty
Hmm.
easily without feeling like, first of all, the community that I built isn't going to go into the Discord and yell if the floor drops a little bit,
Hmm.
because they're already reasonable.
Yeah.
Um, and so the Doodaloogas that I I actually was torn between doing pixelized
Hmm.
whales and then doodles, and then everybody on my Twitter said, "You got to try your hand at the doodle style."
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, well, we saw the season one come out so well, non-doodled with all your beautiful choices of colors that I would heavily agree that this is just such a nice way to showcase your actual colorization and your talent there. And I know I wasn't trying to rush to these, but I really do want to talk about them so because
Hmm.
they're cool. I was trying to get back to the roadmap, but the Zoom thing always goes down right where I try to click the tab. So I'm sorry. I did
I can
jump
tell
your
you about I know I have the roadmap literally memorized in my head if you need
there
me to
we go.
talk about it. Yeah.
I did get back just in time. And so tell us, why this was such a special thing to do, these Doodaloogas, and
Well,
how it came about as an idea, and if you want to talk anything about it,
the community
currently.
pretty much pushed me into it.
Hmm.
I love the Burnt Toast Creatives,
Hmm.
everything that he does.
Hmm.
So seeing the making a derivative, I just knew that the community wanted to see what I could do.
Hmm.
And this is the first project that I've done in probably a year in the NFT space that I did 100% of the artwork.
Wow.
So I did all the sketches. Now there are traits from the community that they submitted and said that they wanted added, but I ended up having to doodleize it. They would sketch it and then I would doodle it. So, and it really did give me the ability to incorporate the community into the collection, and I got the fun, um, the ability to add other artists into the collection and give them a little bit of stake into
Hmm.
the collection. It was fun. And the fun thing about Doodles is just that they have some really amazing rare traits.
Hmm.
And right now you're kind of going through the floor, which are not
Hmm.
rare.
Yep.
But
So
if you
tell me if I can, which of course, is the rarity up? Because I can't seem to grab it on the
Yeah,
left.
so OpenSea currently has an issue with
Okay.
yeah, we have been talking to OpenSea, but you're supposed to be able to filter on the left, but
Yeah, I don't see, I see chains and I see on
mhm,
sale in. So it seems like it's currently being a rarity blocker right now, but
yeah,
that's fine. Why don't you just tell us
S-
which ones to keep
yeah. So
an eye on, in case we
the
want to
things that
snipe some rares.
you want to look for is anything that has a gradient skin,
Mm,
anything that has a space hamster on the
okay.
t-shirt.
Okay.
And anything that has either white companions or rainbow companions or
Mm,
items. So if you look, I think the most rare thing is the demon horns with the rainbow. I think there's only
okay.
6.
Oh,
Now the
wow.
one you're looking at right
This
there
one,
with the
right?
gradient skin to the in the middle,
Okay.
that has a gradient skin.
Oh, very
So
cool. And this is very reasonably priced. So if anybody's seeing this, you might want to
mhm.
go scoop this one up. And now I just can't help but look at the price of these. They're just so reasonably priced. And did you do that intentionally? What was the thought? Because I know I owned a season one and I got a free airdrop. So tell me about the airdropping process and was that just like to thank the community? How did that come about?
Part of the utility for any of my season pass is once you buy into the season pass, anything that I release in the year, you get. You get the first one.
Okay.
So I I take an assessment of I take all the holders and then the first day before you get it a day before everybody else. So it's like a pre-order,
Hmm.
and then you get the first of any is free. Now the thing that happens in Polygon is a lot of time goes between the time that you release big collections. So there's probably people that are in season one that have an amazing rare sitting in there hidden,
Hmm.
and they're not aware of it.
Okay.
So I do like try. That's the kind of funny thing about blockchain is you. It's hard to keep track of everybody that is your holder
Hmm.
without, because they're hopping around in different discords, and they may not see every thing that you post. And I really am funny about um, trying to build email lists. I think
Hmm.
that's so not um, 2022, right? But um, there's a funny story behind the if you scroll up to 5538, the rainbow. Um,
Okay, right here.
yeah, that
Yeah.
if you're aware of the derivative, the rainbow usually goes down.
Oh, okay.
And I had COVID when I made this collection,
Hmm.
and I could not get the get the code to work properly to make the rainbow puke go down. So
Okay.
I made it go to the side, and at first I thought this is not working, right? But then
Yeah.
as it went on, the community was like, oh my goodness, I've never seen
Yeah.
that. And so it kind of went from me not liking it to really it being one of my favorite traits.
Yeah, I really love that. And I can vouch for Vomit because I have a young 18-month-old daughter, and Vomit does projectile straight out.
It's not rainbow color
It's
typically,
not,
though.
well, you know what? I mean, sometimes it can be, but we haven't fed her any Fruit Loops yet. So, like she's good. But yeah, like I love all of these. I think they're amazing. And I love how the price is so reasonable. I know you said companions. I don't know if
The bees,
the
there's a bee companion.
okay,
Yeah.
that's what I figured. I
Mhm.
wasn't sure if that was,
There's
you
a
know,
white bee that's very rare, and
okay. So like if we click on properties, like this is a sub one trait, which is really nice. I wonder if we
yeah.
could just get some these, like that's one way we can work around. And look at it, like, the bees really have a nice floor where there's three on the floor, and then the next one jumps up all the way to an ETH. I wonder if we
Hmm.
can find a white one. Oh, look, this
No,
one's
that
nice.
that one's if you click on that one's got a rainbow skin.
Yeah.
And it's got I think that's a pretty decent that's a decent whale.
Yeah, yeah. No, this looks really nice.
Mhm.
You got to make the offer. You can't buy it now in case anybody was hoping to buy it now. But we're about at the halfway mark
Okay.
due to the free restrictions that Zoom places on our interview. I probably could talk way longer, but why don't we talk about what's coming up? And you were talking about before we started, if we look briefly at our roadmap here, we are currently into the breeding portion. Is that accurate?
You're right. At first, and then the roadmap needs to those two things need to switch. The breeding, anybody that owns two season one whales will be airdropped in the spring a baby whale, and
Okay.
so that the baby whales are a collaboration with an artist that works with Beluga Bay, and they're pretty amazing. Yeah, if
Okay.
you can show that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the baby well that you sent me,
Right.
which is beautiful. It's so freaking cute because like at first you look at it, you're like, oh, it's a baby whale, but then when you start getting into like the mannerisms and the facial expressions of it really genuinely looks like what a baby would look like, like
Yep.
I don't think too many people have been up close with a baby beluga, like I don't I
Yeah. I
so like
think
when I see this, it's really, you got the rosiness in the cheeks, you got the tongue sticking out, you got the little, chubby cheeks, and you got the hands kind of like how a baby would, or the fins, how a baby would kind of, do that. And apparently babies come with some cute antlers and a little bird. I like how the bubbles kind of are playful as well. So tell me, a little bit just about the babies besides the beautiful art.
the babies are going to have a ridiculous amount of traits,
Okay.
and they're going to be another situation where the companions are going to be super rare,
Okay.
and there's going to be some really hard to get companions. um, I I put antlers on everything that I draw, so it just made sense that they, the babies would have an ant. This would be a rare,
Okay,
clearly, but
cool.
this is a very early version of the babies. We decided what you see here with the kind of coloration with the yellow splash,
Hmm.
that's all gone in production, but the rosy cheeks remain.
Hmm.
I was trying to kind of recolor them, and my artist is like, no, we need to go back and make these pure white.
Hmm.
So production will be pure white.
Okay, cool, cool,
So,
cool.
but it will have the cute popped red cheeks.
Yeah,
And
I love that. I love that. Yeah,
yeah, I can
really.
see a little in the fins. You can see this is an alpha sketch. You see where the fins are not perfect. That's all cleaned up in production.
Yeah,
So
you should if this is, you should put this in as a collection, as like a one of one, like the
yeah.
sketch. The sketch thing
Mhm.
is, somewhat really cool. I think from a collector standpoint, people would really like that. All right, so we talked, about the season one, we talked about the Doodlelugas, we talked about breeding. Why don't you tell us more about the Mechs? And I believe then, briefly, if you want to just touch upon anything really. I mean, it's quite an extensive roadmap, and we have, I would say, about um, you know 13 minutes or so left. So,
Sure.
kind of a little bit more in the fast forward mode now. So
Yeah.
tell me, let's just bang through these, about a minute on each one. Tell me
Sure.
about the Mechs.
So the mechs are going to be the first time that the belugas enter the metaverse.
Very
So
cool.
you will be able to ride your. First of all, you'll be able to put your whale inside of a mech,
Hmm.
and then walk that mech up on land. So when I was a kid, I used to just think about whaling and how horrible whaling was.
Yeah.
So um, I thought that it would be funny if the whales got to come up on land.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to put the like violent
Yeah.
spin on it, but we're definitely making fun things like bubble guns and
Nice.
really kind of keeping it pretty tame.
Yeah.
So the mechs will be 2D PFPs.
Okay.
So you'll get your mech and you'll get to load your whale into the mech.
Nice.
Then there'll be a voxel version of that mech, and then there will be a 3D version of the mech.
Very
So
cool.
a lot of the proceeds for season one and Lugas are flowing into that mech. It sounds crazy, but I know that it's going to do well. I mean, people
Yeah.
love mechs and
Oh
robots,
yeah.
and
And I think it is like, I think it got a bit saturated with some projects, and then I think it kind of is in a like a nice tamer state for the mechs to resurge when you're, putting these out. And I think it's just always a very popular
hmm
NFT type of genre or niche, and I think it's really cool the way you have the little backstory behind it. Do you have a price point for these? Is this a part of season one still? Is this part of
it's
season
gonna
two?
it's gonna be a part of season one,
Okay.
and I haven't really determined. I'm always going to give my holders a benefit, so I don't
Sure.
know if I'll give them. I don't know. I don't really know how I'm going to price those yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I have to give my holders that stick with it a
Sure.
certain amount of those for free. So
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I mean, I love how, giving you are, because, you buy one or two Beluga Bay season ones for, very reasonably priced, even if you're getting in, now or in a month or two from now. And, then you just get all the added benefits of season one. So now tell me briefly about season two and what that's going to bring, or is there anything we need to still be a part that will still be a part of season one? Like, when
so
does season two start, and
yeah,
what is the difference?
season two is going to be in 2023,
Okay.
and it will be taking everything that the Beluga Bay has experienced and turning it up on its end. So you'll be able to stake season one and into season two.
Very cool.
So it'll be traits and things. We'll have a whole year of progress behind us at that point. So I'm really excited about that. And it will be an opportunity. At that point, I'm sure I'll have like 100,000 followers. At that,
Yeah,
I'm growing at 3,000 followers a month.
that's
So
amazing.
it will really be a game changer there.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this roadmap, which is really extensive and really, I just love how future focused it is. Why don't you tell me just briefly a little bit about the securing partnerships with education? Because that, being
Yeah.
in education myself, I'm very curious about that.
So we are Beluga Bay Academy started about 6 months ago, and
Cool.
it is what we're doing now is we're partnering with other NFT collections that educate in the Web3 space.
Okay.
So it it's really about building a subset of projects that are focused around educating in any pivot point there. So it could be Web3, it could be STEM, it could be, but building that core roadmap for education is the next step there.
Very cool. Very cool. And I love, all the honorable mention stuff here too with your spaces and taking care of different communities and having them, have that really wonderful representation and equity and, caring. Like
Mhm.
it's very much a project about people and caring about people and relationships and community and taking care of everything. I think we're getting close to the end, but I am always intrigued by the houses of Beluga. So if you want to just kind of briefly, just touch on that and then any closing remarks.
Sure. I know we're about to end, but if you scroll down to the map,
Sure. Yep.
the four areas of Beluga Bay are inhabited by different houses.
Mhm.
In the side of dark water, or where your mages and your kind of like dark magic
Mhm.
belugas live in the storyline. Puddle Hop is kind of where the hippie,
Mhm.
fun-loving belugas live. A Shallow Bay is more of like diplomats and a little bit more political. And then Fire Coral is the deep sea where you're kind of warriors and you're protectors of the bay live. So it really did become a situation where people flock to what they felt like it was an additional thing that like married that well to you, and that will be important as the staking game starts, where you fit in that ecosystem. So
Very cool. Very cool. And yeah, I mean, I really love everything that you're doing. I love that everything is just so ready to just explode and just really, because when you end up seeing all of the work you've already done and all the work you're currently doing and all the work that you will be doing in the future and tying it into everything and everybody and all the lives that you've touched and influenced. It really is just a beautiful thing to kind of create this whole ecosystem and this whole metaverse and this whole, every time you look at an NFT project and they have the utility, you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you look at yours and you're like, oh my God, you have everything. You have all of the things that a project, it's like the dream project here. You get all the claimables and the airdrops and the staking and the gaming and the taking care of everybody and representation and it just giving back and I don't want to gloss over anything in the map in the white paper I see over here. You have your cancer charity reboot
yeah,
and
I'm a 2-year cancer survivor, so that's where that all comes in.
yeah, no, so that's very, that's just amazing that you've taken something that's affected you and brought it into this world and again with the giving back. So, I'm happy that you are doing really well in your health and I'm happy that you're doing so much for the community and you've affected so many people in a positive way. Is there any closing remarks or anything that we should touch on before we go?
I think we've covered it all. I really appreciate the time. and I've
Sure.
enjoyed this immensely. So thank you.
Same here. And thank you for always doing such great work. And if you haven't already, all of the links to the OpenSea collections and the white paper, and obviously the Discord and Twitter will be in this video's description. I just want to thank you, Beluga, for coming on and being such a special guest and being part of the Blockchain of Fame family as well. And, you know, giving Mike and I an opportunity when a lot of other projects were not really sure what we were and who we were about. And, you know, you've always been really kind to us. So we're thankful for that. So thank you. And
Thank you.
definitely everybody check out Beluga Bay. They got so much on deck. And, you know, if you are curious about Polygon, jump in one of the spaces and you're going to learn more than you would watching any YouTube videos or anything like that. You're going to get to see value and build friendships and all that great stuff. So I'll end on that note, and thank you so much. And I'm going to
Thank you.
stop the recording now.